One way to graph a function is to generate some points and plot those points on the Cartesian plane. First example, we need to graph y equal to 4 minus x squared. You can choose any points you want to plug in to x. I'm going to pick -2, 0, and +2. You can select more points if you like. When we plug in -2 in place of x, we have 4 minus, in parentheses, -2 squared. When we square -2, we end up with +4. But we still have that negative on the outside, so bring it down. Our y value is 0. Next, replace x with 0. So we have 4 minus 0 squared. And you know 0 squared is still 0. And 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. Third value, replace 2 where you see an x. 2 squared is 4. And then 4 minus 4 will give you 0 again. We have enough points to plot and see what the graph looks like. So here's the graph. And as you can see, it's an upside down parabola. Let's look at another example. Again, graphing by plotting points. Let's look at this next problem. We have to graph the function y equal to absolute value of x plus 1. Remember, with absolute value, no matter what you plug into it, it becomes positive. So let's draw our XY chart. And I apologize, bear with me, I'm having a little technical difficulties. You can replace x with any value you like. I'm just going to choose -1, 0, 1, and maybe +2. First up, if you plug in -1 in place of x, we have the absolute value -1 plus 1. And you know the absolute value of a negative number is always a positive number. So we have 1 plus 1, or 2. So when x is -1, y is equal to 2. Next up, plug in 0. So we have the absolute value of 0 plus 1. Absolute value of 0 is still 0. plus 1 will give you positive 1. Next, replace x with positive 1. The absolute value of 1 is still 1, plus the 1 that's already there will give you positive 2. And let's, instead of positive 2, let's pick another negative number. If we plug in negative 2 in place of x, absolute value of negative 2 is still 2, plus 1 will give us 3. Now we have plenty of points. We can plot these points and draw the graph. And I did this graph ahead of time. So this is what the absolute value looks like. Absolute value, of course, is in the shape of a V. In closing, to summarize, one way to graph functions is by picking points, most cases for x, and finding each corresponding y value, and then plot your ordered pairs on the Cartesian plane, connect the dots, and draw the graph.